Welcome to another update on Star Citizen's progress. This time we're looking at the most recent roadmap, Roundup, really what's going on in the next month or so. We're in the midst of 4.2. It's going to be live probably by the time this goes live or within a couple hours, 24 hours, I don't know. And I figured we'd just take a chance to go over these little updates we got on the current ongoings that aren't really being talked about, like on the roadmap and stuff. It's not too much. It's very small. This is going to be a short video. Let's go through 4.21, well, 4.2.1. This is our first kind of look at the next update in the 4.2 branch. They won't be big additions, but they will continue to build on whatever's happening in 4.2 and should carry on the focus and excitement into 4.3, probably coming in like August, I would say. So this will be our July patch, no doubt, and there will be more things than what we're seeing right here, but just to get it kicked off on what is coming, they're changing the defend mission on the roadmap to support ship missions, adding new missions focused around escorting ships that are under immediate threat. I thought this sounded familiar, and I went back to the monthly report about 3 years ago now, in 2023, February of 2023. And in the features mission section, they actually had this excerpt. It says, where are we? Several unannounced missions continue to be prototyped. Now, if you follow this channel a lot, I talk about the fact that we haven't seen a lot of missions that have been talked about. The barge heist, the mining missions. These escort missions are one of them that we talked about earlier this year. And it looks like they're getting them in with 4.2.1 to some extent. This reads, one of these missions sees players escorting ships as they quantum travel and land at various locations, potentially allowing players aboard to carry out tasks. Now, that's another complication. And I would really love if this was a real thing for a mission that has to do with escorting ships around and possibly doing things on board, whether that mean, I don't know, simply going on board and walking around the ship and getting a check off that you like check that there's nobody boarding it. The most simple thing of just going on board an NPC piloted ship that is not focused on killing you has evaded us for such a long time. And I think it'd be actually a really cool sleeper hit if they dropped that in with these updates. Now, I don't know if that's in, but this is the support ship escort mission. They're under immediate threat, so it doesn't sound like they're stopping around on Quantum. Maybe they simplified this delivery and we're not getting as much as they had hoped to back during this monthly report. But this is really the only time I've seen them talk about escorting missions. So we'll see how it goes once we start seeing more about this in ISC, probably in the next few weeks. Another new global event is coming. Now, this is key because it's an event. This is not a sandbox activity. This is not a chapter. This isn't the same kind of thing as these other things. When you look in here at the gameplay and you find something like the sandbox activity, a line in mine, or you go to 4.2 and you find, where is 4.2 having it? Stormbreaker sandbox activity. When they say global event, this is different. This is going to be something that happens and then it's gone. Much like Siege of Orison, like Xenothreat, like Jumptown. It is not the same as these other things. So this is the kind of thing that if you can't get in right when it starts happening in that first couple weeks, I would suggest finding a group to try and do it. But also, we don't know how they're going to format this. This could be something much like supply or die, where you have to go out and you can take part in this event in different ways. Now, I've seen some leaks. I don't want to get too deep into it, but I can say this looks like an event that is not focused primarily on combat. Combat may be involved, but it does look similar to something like Supply or Die, and you'll be able to acquire resources in any number of ways to turn in for your team. I'm sure there will be combat involved as people try and like stop people from doing that, but that doesn't mean it's a combat-focused event, let alone a combat-focused sandbox activity. Either way, that's a whole nother topic. We'll save that for another video. Just know that this is coming up and we'll probably hear more about it in the next couple weeks. After that is the Volt Laser the Pulse, introducing a powerful new pistol from Volt's specialized arsenal, a higher capacity, fully automatic sidearm that ramps up its rate of fire as it heats up. We know the Volt weapons pretty well at this point because, well, we've seen 3 of them now introduced to the game. But we've been following these along for quite a while, and you can look back at some of the old footage that they made where they do show us there are multiple Volt weapons on the way. We've only received this one up here. This is the SMG. But we are due for what looks like an LMG, as well as a possible sniper. This pistol is obviously its own weapon. And we've seen a couple shots of it here and there, specifically during a sneak peek back in 2022. They sent it in one of the emails. So much like these other clips that where you can see, like, I mean, this video clip is from 2021. So clearly these weapons have been in the works and definitely planned for a while. And just like we covered last year when the weapons content team came on and showed what they were working on, I made a video showing that weapons in this game were not delivered for years. You can look at the entire roadmap and you can see how over time we had plenty of weapons being delivered. Look at this. Almost every single patch, weapons, weapons, weapons. You just keep going. Weapons, weapons, weapons. Not this one. Every other one though. Weapons, weapons, weapons. And then after 3.12, nothing, right? Nothing getting delivered. They were working mainly on these tools. So considering in 2022, they clearly had weapons that they wanted to deliver but weren't getting into the game, it's easy to see these people were working on Squadron. And now, with this, with the other Volt weapons we're seeing, with the new armors coming in, new medium utility armors coming in, like a lot of this more character item focused stuff is getting worked on because Squadron isn't as much. I'm excited to see how this pistol works. I love these guns. They remind me of my time in Halo, Resistance Fall of Man, Ratchet and Clank, all those fun games with the cool, interesting guns that I know a lot of people don't like. People hate the not realistic weapons, but I think that they add some fun diversity and interest to the experience. So those are the current things that we have for 4.2.1. Again, I don't think that'll be all we see. Obviously, bug fixes and small things popping in here and there, little tweaks. We will definitely be hearing, but obviously it won't be as big as 4.2.0, which is coming out in the next day, and is honestly not bringing a ton of stuff to the game quite like 4.1 did. But again, we'll see what happens over the next few weeks. We've also got the new medium utility armor that has been moved to 4.3, so we won't be hearing about that likely until later July or in August sometime. That's it for your roadmap roundup. I hope you guys got some information from this, got to see a little bit of what to expect over the next month. I will keep the daily news coming for you so we can keep up to date. And thanks for dropping by. See you in the next one.